My name is Gabe, and I'm 24 years old. Do you ever feel like you're living another life? I'm no longer able to understand where the real world begins and where a virtual one ends. I'm a hostage to technology. My girlfriend had left me. We'd been arguing a lot lately, and of course, we had our problems. But to leave me? I came home from work, but there wasn't anything to come home to. Not our things, nor our plush cat. She took everything and left only a bottle in the middle of the room with a note in it. She had other dreams. She can't take it anymore. She'd been offered a cool job in another city, blah, blah, blah. And here I was, stuck in this place. All her girlish nonsense was short, but we had been together for 2 years. Taylor broke my heart and left me, what, an empty bottle with her damn note in it? For a long time, I refused to grieve for my relationship and soon found a replacement. True, it wasn't real love. It was virtual. My best friend couldn't watch me suffer over a girl, so told me of something that forever changed my life, that a virtual girl would never leave me. To do this, you had to buy a virtual reality glasses and a game. Everything was very simple, but not cheap. I went to the store and tested the VR system out. It was so cool. I took home my new virtual girlfriend the same day. Her name was Maya, and she was like a real girlfriend, almost too real. Taylor slowly began to disappear from my head and from my heart. After all, Maya did everything that I said. She was so attentive, always asking me how I was and what I was up to. Also, she constantly confessed her love for me. No one ever treated me like that. Taylor and I had just constantly sworn at each other. For her, I wasn't good enough. But for Maya, I was the perfect guy. It was so cool. But I didn't know what a disaster such love would bring. I was completely stuck in VR reality. For hours, I watched as Maya exercised, danced. She had a perfect body, like a supermodel. But one thing was missing: touch. This is where my friend helped me out again. It turned out there was already a VR suit, which would give me the opportunity to feel Maya's touch. The suit was pricey, but I remembered where I could get the money from. Taylor and I had put our savings in a bank. We had dreamed of a great trip together, but she had left me, and I still had access to the account. I needed the money. Then I would know what Maya was capable of. But virtual girls are even more insidious than real ones. I bought a suit, and our relationship reached a whole new level. Maya touched me, caressed me, stroked me. She was ready to fulfill all my desires, and I fell out of my real life. It was euphoric. I couldn't tear myself away from Maya and the new sensations I was experiencing. I told my work that I was sick, turned off my phone and other instant messengers. Now, no one would bother me in Maya. Still wasn't enough. I was head over heels in love with Maya, and then I found a way for me and Maya to truly be together. At first, I thought about how to make Maya real. There were options, such as a robot, but it would cost a crazy amount of money. And there were still lots of bugs. This is not what I wanted. But then I realized, instead of bringing Maya into my world, I could just enter hers. I found articles and videos that proved a living person could completely transition to being online. My mind had to be transferred to a computer, and then to a server, but there, in the vastness of virtuality, we could be together, forever. A digital, endless, and happy life. There was only one problem. When moving online, my body would become completely unnecessary. But for Maya's sake, I was ready for it. I was so captivated with the idea of our life together online that I talked with Maya for hours. She always supported me and agreed with everything I said. She understood me like no one else. I practically stopped eating. I didn't go out. After all, soon I was going to become a digital being, which meant that all earthly desires could be switched off. I wrote a note asking to be relocated to Maya's virtual reality when I stopped breathing, and I was happy as ever. Maya told me I was a real hero. And then I stopped understanding the difference between virtual reality and the real world. I awoke in the hospital without my virtual goggles, suit, or Maya. My head hurt wildly, and a panic came over me. I wanted her so much. Why had they taken her from me? A doctor looked into the room and announced, "Your girlfriend is here." "Maya?" I asked in hope. But it wasn't Maya. It was Taylor. I began to yell at her, but she, oddly enough, was silent. That wasn't like her at all. I fell silent and decided to listen. What a moron I had been. For the last 10 days, I haven't eaten anything, but I drank a lot of alcohol to relax me before entering my new virtual existence. I was intoxicated. I had been drunk and delirious then in virtual reality. It turns out that when Taylor had wanted to take half of our savings, she had discovered that the account was empty. She knew the password to my Google account, went into it, and looked at the history of my searches and purchases. To her horror, she discovered my plans to live in virtual existence and leave this world. She immediately flew out to me and managed to get here just in time. It's good that she still had the keys to the apartment, because when she arrived, I was lying on the floor, unconscious, wearing virtual reality goggles and a strange suit. I was pumping out, but Maya had to go away forever, just like my alcohol addiction. To be honest, I had drank a lot before Maya. It was because of this that Taylor had left, why we swore at each other all the time. Finally, it dawned on me why she had left her farewell note in an empty bottle. It was all my fault. More precisely, my addiction to drinking. I had thought there was nothing wrong with a couple of bottles of wine at breakfast. How wrong I was. If not for Taylor, then Maya and alcohol would have dragged me into virtual reality forever. "I still love you, Gabe," Taylor told me, "and I just want to help." Taylor and I sold all those virtual reality gadgets and went on a real trip. And you know, the whole trip we were completely offline. Can you live without the internet for a week, or even a day? Tell us in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content.